Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Candidates Forum right here in the heart of the town of Bethel, one of Pitt County's of North Carolina's 10 municipalities. Today is Thursday, October 9th, 2025. We welcome each and every one of you to tonight's forum. My name is Sharice Boyd, and before I introduce the MC of the evening, I would like to offer a quick word of prayer. Let every heart pray. Tonight, we invite God to be at the center of this forum, using time wisely so the outcome is productive for this town as well as our county, bearing good fruit. In Jesus' name, let every believer say amen. Give yourselves a hand for being here tonight. At this time, I would like to present our MC for the evening, who will come in her own way. Put your hands together for Miss Diane Taylor, looking so beautiful.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm gonna try and stand where you stood. How about that? My name is Diane Taylor, and I am a Greenvilleian. I've been in Greenville for over 25 years. I consider it home. My jobs there are lengthy, but all of them revolve around community advocacy. So that's how I title myself, as a community advocate and an entrepreneur. Tonight, I get to serve in two capacities for you, one of which is your MC, the other of which is one of the two moderators that we have here this evening. What I'm going to do right now is to introduce your other moderator, Miss Renee Boston Hill. And I will also let you know, or remind you, because I believe you all know, what the ground rules will be for tonight, okay? So, Miss Renee Boston Hill, I know you very well, but do you mind taking just a moment to introduce yourself to our candidates and the rest of the room?
It's my pleasure to let you know that I've been here in Greenville since 2007. I'm a New Yorker, and I refuse to give it up. But being here, okay, I found that I found a community of people who receive me. Every Monday morning at 10 a.m., my husband and I, Calvin Boston Hill, we do a radio station, Politics Now, with Renee and Calvin Boston Hill. We do a lot of service work. We do whatever any community calls us to do as volunteers. So it's my pleasure to be here tonight and to make sure that Bethel gets the best that it can in terms of our moderators and what has the growth for Bethel. Thank you.
So tonight, and I'm sure all of you are already aware, but we're going to mention it just one more time. If there's only one candidate in terms of tonight, that would be our mayor. Thank you so much for being here. Since he is the only one that's here and he is running unopposed, he will have 13 total minutes to introduce yourself, let us know your platform. You can tell us a little bit about the things you've already done or things you look forward to doing in the future. Okay. And after him, then we will have the rest of our Board of Commissioner candidates, and we will allow 1 minute for each of you to introduce yourselves, and then we will ask individual questions of you. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. The commissioners are going first. If it was up to me, I would have let you go. But you can't get out of it. You got to watch the whole thing. I'm sure you'll find it beneficial. Okay, so I'm going to call up who I believe is here. If I miss you, please raise your hand and introduce yourself to me, okay? All right. So first, I would like to call up Barbara Jackson Bynum. And you can just find your seat, ma'am. Thank you so much. Next, Frederick Whitehurst, who also told me, Mr. Mayor, that he's the most handsome in the room. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? You can't argue with that. Next, we'll call up Camilla Griggs. Next, we'll have Elvis Jones. Next, we'll have Trisha Workow. How'd I do, Trisha? Oh, okay, good. I'll try to get better, okay? And then we have Thomas Lilly. And have I missed anyone? All right, Sandra, please join us up front. Thank you.
Sure. Take it on.
Sandra, what's your last name?
Cassandra.
Sandra.
Yes, Congress, Conger.
So we want to thank everyone again for being here and going from our left to our right and then our right to our left on our side. We're going to ask you to have 1 minute to tell us a little bit about yourself and if you want to, why you're running for Board of Commissioners. Okay, so we're going to start with you. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Lilly. I'm running for commissioner for the third time. I'm also the fire chief here, been the fire chief for the last 15 years. Been in this fire department and in the town for 29 years. And so we're just we have got some water stuff taken care of in the past. We're looking to do a lot more in the future. So things looking good, but I think.
And Tricia, Workhoff. Okay, you're next, please.
All right, my name is Trisha Workoff. I moved here in January of last year. I was heavily active with community outreach where I moved from. And then when I moved here, I immediately started working with my community to see what I could do to benefit here as well. I have attended every single town meeting since I moved in. I've worked closely with the town manager on issues related to stormwater or storm readiness. In addition to, I've talked to them about feral cat population, what like things I could do with that. We had a missing teenager last week that I was like instrumental behind helping find search parties for and getting eyes out for her. Bringing this community together is incredibly important to me, and that's really what I am running on because I love my community here. I love being part of Bethel.
All right, Mr. Elvis Jones, you're next, please.
Good evening. My name is indeed Elvis Jones. No blue suede shoes and all the other jokes that I get to hear about. But I am seeking, actually not seeking re-election like other people would be because I actually served on the town board from 1985 until 1999. But because basically my job had moved me out of Bethel, I stepped away from the board. But now that we are retired and back in the area, we're hoping to get back on the board and see what we can do to just try to make some improvements here in Bethel. Would like to say, without getting myself, so that I don't get myself in too much trouble, I'm married to wonderful Kathy Jones that's here tonight. And we have 2 wonderful children, Jacinta and Charles, adult children that's well out of Bethel.
Okay, next will be Miss Camellia Griggs, please.
Hi, I'm Camille Griggs. I'm a resident of Bethel for 73 years, except for about 4 years. I'm already doing community work with the Bethel Advocacy Center, the Bethel Community Gardens, and a part of the Bethel Smith Street Park refurbishing. And I am running because I have a purple passion for my town. I love my town and I wanted to see it progress, and all the people. I want to see everyone progressing in this town.
Thank you. Okay, and we're going to go next to Mr. Frederick Whitehurst.
Yes, I'm Frederick Whitehurst. I've lived here since 1998. I joined the board in 2000. I was on the board for about 10 years, and then I stepped away. I was last appointed. Then there was a vacancy on the board, and I was appointed to to fill that vacancy. So I'll be running not for reelection, but for election. I think that we've made some phenomenal progress in the last 2 to 3 years. There's so many things happening. From my point of view, they're exciting. We've come together as a town. I want to be part of that as we progress forward. And so that's why I'm running.
Thank you. And we have Miss Barbara Jackson, please.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Barbara Jackson Bynum, and I live here in Bethel. I've been here. We came to Bethel when I was in my senior year of high school. So we've been here over 40 years, and I am married, and I have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. And the reason that this is my second term running, and I love Bethel, and I believe in my heart, glory be to God, that we can do a lot of things here. And I believe that Bethel can be the town that it used to be, that we can start, having more things here to do and, for the people and all. I just believe in Bethel that we can do it.
We need all of the candidates to move the mic closer or to lean in when you are speaking.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Miss Cassandra. Could you say your last name for me, please?
Conger.
Conger. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Cassandra Conger. I've lived in Bethel about 22 years, if I remember correctly. When we moved to Bethel, we came here from Michigan, and this town welcomed us with open arms and has, welcomed us ever since. And I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life, and it has become home. 5 years ago, my son was involved in an accident, and the town rallied around him and supported all of us, and it was absolutely amazing. And I'm here because I want to give back and to rally around others to, bring that support, make sure they feel the same support that we felt during our time of need.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to begin to ask the questions. We're going to be uniform with the questions. Everybody will have an opportunity to respond, and we're going to go now right to left. So, Miss Cassandra, we're going to start with you.
Okay. So, Ms. Cassandra, what is your long-term vision for the town of Bethel, and what specific steps would you take in your first year to move this town forward?
My long-term vision is that we continue to make financially sound decisions. We're in a good place financially here in the town with the town of Bethel. And I would like to see that continue. A lot of small towns have a lot of financial issues, and we don't have those issues. And so, of course, money's tight. It always is. We're a little town. But, I believe that making the right decisions, we can improve the town and at the same time maintain that. I would like to see the fire department continue to be funded as well as it is. We've needed this for a long time. I have my husband and my son are both on the fire department, and it is very nice to know that their equipment is up to date and those kinds of things. So I would like to continue those steps by continuing to stay on top of this is how much money we're spending. This is how much money, balancing that budget every year, not allowing, a mismanagement of funds, those kinds of steps.
Thank you for that. We're going to go to Ms. Barbara Jackson Bynum. Same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes.
What is your long-term vision for the town of Bethel, and what specific steps would you take in your first year to move us toward that vision?
My long-term vision is to, I have a thing, I'm for more affordable homes in this town, and that we can just, do more here for families, and I also want to do the long term to see our downtown. We got a lot of buildings, but I want to see beautification. that we beautify our town, and, maybe set out flowers, have flowers and things around downtown. Something that when people come through and ride through Bethel, that it would catch their eye. And how I would go about doing that is I would love to see, we come together even more as a town, come together, all the people in the town, we come together even more. If we can work together on jobs and everything, we can come together in our town and do more. And that's how I would get out. I want to be able to get out and to talk to people and to let them know, that come to the town meetings so you can learn and so we can get together and do what needs to be done.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Same question to you, Mr. Whitehurst. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Probably be a good idea, ma'am.
Okay. What is your long-term vision for the town of Bethel, and what specific steps would you take in your first year to work toward that vision?
As you've heard, we have a very good fund balance. We need to be careful how we use that fund balance. We very much need infrastructure. We need roads. We need our areas in the town that flood, that don't have good drainage taken care of. That's not as simple as simply cleaning out our drains. It's a matter of where does the water go, the flooding, when the drains carry it someplace. So it's a matter of working with the state and the county to clear out ditches, clear out streams, so the water goes away. There are places in town where people are in very rainy times. They go out their front door and they've got to have boots on. And we've had in the past, we haven't paid attention as we should have to the roads. We do have money for roads, and we're talking about paving streets where, 3 and 4 years ago, we had a lot of very dangerous potholes, but we are moving in that direction. I think as we put the funding into those things, that we will attract housing, will attract people coming here. I'd like to say that for a long time, after I got here, there was a lot of issues there. We needed law enforcement. Sheriff Paula Dance has brought her people in at our invitation. And within a week, cleared up our streets. And I think we need to continue in that direction because a safe city is a place that people want to come. This is a beautiful town. And making sure that when they get here, they want to stay here.
Thank you for that, Mr. Whitehurst. I appreciate you. Ms. Griggs, would you like me to repeat the question? What is your long-term vision for the town of Bethel, and what specific steps would you take in your first year to move us toward that vision?
Okay. I would, first of all, I would like to be a part of the bridge that bridges the gap between us all. Everybody working together, minding the same thing. And like someone said, the infrastructure. Also, we need grocery stores. I would be one of the elements that keep pressing for a grocery store here. Also, bringing in new businesses and also affordable housing. Not just housing, but affordable housing, because our housing here needs a great push. And we see a lot of that happening now, but I would love to see more of it. And I like to say that Bethel is a very nice place to live. It is a quiet place. It can be. And I just want to see everybody working, working together for the same cause, making us having the same, minding the same thing, and making Bethel a better place to live.
Thank you, Ms. Griggs. Mr. Jones, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, that's okay. I tried to write them down. I knew I wouldn't remember them. But a long-term
Mr.
vision.
Jones, give me just 1 second. Can we do two things? One, silence our phones, and two, cut down on background noise. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Jones, my apologies.
As far as a long-term vision for the town of Bethel, I think a vision that I would like to see happen for the town of Bethel is prior to my moving to Bethel, and I think once I got here, there used to be a sign up that said something like Bethel, a nice place to live.
Mhm.
I'm going to say this, Bethel sometimes has not been such a nice place to live. And that's because of divisions among people. We have the south side of the tracks and we have the north side. And it's just been a divided community. So a vision for me for the town of Bethel would be to at least try to bring us together more as a people,
Mhm.
and let us not be so divided with the races, with the political climate that's going on today is not really getting much better. But I think it's possible that things could get better if we really work on those things. But as far as specific steps to take, and well, I will mention also, I've heard some mention of housing and things along those lines. I think those things will be very good for the town of Bethel, and we need to work on that. Need to get that grocery store in here. I know there's movement towards that. But as far as specific steps that I would try to take to try to see some of these visions happen, perhaps I can try to do a better job of meeting people where they are and maybe inviting myself to be a part of, I'm going to say, the other community. And prayerfully, the other community would invite me and others to be a part of it. I think that would be so.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Ms. Workha. I got it. Would you like me to repeat the question?
I got it. Thank you. So, first off, immediate things that I would do are things that I already have things planned for when I'm elected. And one thing I would do is start a resident hub for resources so that way we can make sure every resident is knowing what is available for them. Things that I am doing now before I'm elected into office. I volunteer at the senior center. I've gotten to know multiple lovely ladies there and connected with them and their families. I volunteer at the library to connect with the people there, the available resources there so I can share them with the community. I have connected with the youth center and I volunteer on the PTO at the grade school here as well. I'm very active in those communities to hear their needs and know what we need to bring to the town. So with that resident being a liaison in that area, I would be able to know boots on the ground what we need immediately and how to make that happen. That is something I did last week, like I said, with helping find that missing teenager. Something else I have done is let's see. I'm working on, I've scouted the neighborhood. I've actively gone around on my electric scooter to know where our needs are. I know where it floods in town. I know where the feral cat population is the worst in town. I've talked to the town manager about that. I know when new glass is broken in vacant buildings. I notice things like that. I talk to people about what their needs are, where they are at. I meet with, I've talked with the mayor about things because he is genuinely great to work with and cares about this community, much like I do. And I am out here really working to meet the people where they're at and already make changes before elected, because I know once I was elected in, I would continue making more changes and being able to implement things on a much bigger scale for everyone. Because like Mr. Jones said, we do have a divide that needs to be fixed.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, for our first question, Mr. Thomas Lilly, would you like me to repeat the question? Okay.
To start off, my long-term goal for the town of Bethel is basically, I like to see Bethel like it used to be 30, 40 years ago. People would walk down the streets, speak to everybody, everybody knew everybody. We had businesses, we had grocery stores, we had gas stations, we had motels. We had all of this back in the day. Over the past years, I think basically Bethel has kind of drew itself in a hole. And over the years with different people coming in, different people going out, they really didn't know how to get out of the hole as far as financial or whatever. Well, now in the past, I say 6 or 7 years, the town has done great. We've came a long way in this town in the past 6 years. For one, the water system we used to have here, we teamed up with Greenville Utilities and they took over our water system that was better water than what we had. We still have drainage problems. We're in the process of getting ready to talk to people about getting this stuff done and trying to get our drainage and our flooding taken care of. For my goal is that I want to see this town grow. I want to see houses. I want to see companies. I want to see the outer skirts of the Highway 11, 13, and 64. I want to see businesses out there. And they're not going to come until the town has something to give them to be able to come. And that's what my goal is, to try to get people here. But we have to basically do the infrastructure first. We've got to get everything settled for the town that we can get in to be able to bring people in and say, hey, I want to go to Bethel. That's where I want to live. That's a safe town. I can walk down the streets. I ain't got to worry about nobody trying to rob me or anything like that. And that's why I'd like to see Bethel like in the future.
Thank you. Next question, and we're going to start with you, Mr. Thomas Lindley. And my question to you is that when it comes to Bethel, and if you need to do food shopping, you go to Greenville. If you need to see a doctor or any health concerns, you have to go to Greenville. What do you perceive to be the growth for Bethel so that y'all can be more autonomous in terms of the growth?
Well, at this time, we've got a gentleman that's come in that's done a lot for the town. He is in process of trying to get us a coffee shop open. He's in process of getting us a grocery store. Matter of fact, they came to the meeting the other Tuesday night and said that everything should be up and running hopefully in January. So our grocery store should be open in January. Yes, it is aggravating. You got to go to Greenville, Robertsonville, or Tarboro for, basically, regular food. We do have a dollar store and we do have a Family Dollar that has really come into play. They've stepped up. They put in a lot of foods that most of them didn't have in the past to be able to help and accommodate the town. But really what the town needs is businesses and a grocery store, gas stations. And I think if they have that, then that would actually bring in and this town would grow. And I've always said, and I've told my guys in the fire department, I think Bethel is on the rebound. I really do. Whether or not I'm 64, whether or not it be within my lifetime, but I really think this town is going to be really bopping, hopefully for the next 10 or 15 years.
Thank you. Ms. Tricia Walker, the same question. What do you see as the growth for Bethel so that you don't have to keep going to Greenville to purchase for medical? Do you foresee growth here, or do you just see yourself having to go other places for your resources?
Well, there's already things being brought in now to answer those questions. Like he said, Mr. Brown and his partner with United Provider of Health, they are working on they own the hardware store and have done wonderful things with that. They're doing great things. Also, we have Pitt Stop working with Pitt County to bring a doctor up here, I believe, a couple times a week, mental health provider, I think they're trying to get as well. But they bought the old police department building to be able to meet some of those needs up here. Mrs. Griggs' Advocacy Center has virtual doctors, I believe, now to help people that can't get to the doctors south of the river. So we have those resources we need to get the word out to our residents that they are available. And when Pit Stop gets here, that it is available. The library is a really great resource for some things. In addition to outside of the grocery store and doctor's visits and stuff. But they are coming. The grocery store will be here, like he said, in January, and more things will come, I believe, as we take care of the town we have now. It was said years ago, build it and they will come. I believe when we have a thriving, bustling downtown and an infrastructure to sustain a long-term vision of a strong community, we will have it. It will be here because we'll be ready for it.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Elvis Jones, the same question. What do you foresee the growth here in Bethel so that you don't have to keep going to Greenville for everything?
Well, and certainly everybody's already talked about needs, and we all understand the needs that we have here in Bethel. I think it's so important that we, first of all, we need to educate our citizens about how communities grow, and they really grow by being counted by the census, because that's what businesses look at sometimes. They look at numbers, and I think if we can educate our people to get them to understand that, I think there's some people who don't want to be counted when it's time to be counted. But if they realize that by being counted, then the people that provide businesses and things along those lines, they'll see that there's a population here to serve, and then they will go out perhaps and try to make some movement towards the town of Bethel. We have to, as this was mentioned about the infrastructure, and I'm guilty myself of not really participating in some of the county meetings and finding out what it is that the county commissioners could do for us, and how we could work more with them to bring in the resources that we need. And I would like to do this. I would like to commend Mayor Wilson and the present board, because there's some great things happening here in Bethel. But we just have to keep on working at it and keep on talking to people and trying to go out and encourage people to come here and help us do it.
All right, thank you. Same question for you, Ms. Camilla Griggs. What do you foresee to be the growth so that, Bethel could become more autonomous in terms of having to keep going other places for resources?
I can say that it is going to happen. I'm a positive thinker. It is going to happen because it's already moving in that direction. I just like to say it's still going to take everyone working together to make it happen. And for the future of Bethel, it's going to take us, the middle age, the younger people, everybody working together. The grocery store is going to come. It's slow. Everything that you do has to get off the ground. That's where we are. It's going to happen. And I just like to say, we're going to be a thriving city. People are going to want to come here because of how we get ourselves together. We're going to be that model city. We're going to be that city that got itself together so we can get back on our feet again. That's where we're headed. And I believe that.
Thank you. Okay, same question for you, Mr. Frederick Whitehurst. And it's in terms of growth here at Bethel, and where you have to go other places to get your resources, like your medical, your food, where do you see Bethel growing? Or how do you see Bethel growing?
I think we have to understand, first of all, and I think our mayor is trying to do that. We had a clinic here. It was an operating clinic with a full-time doctor and nurses. And the medical complex in Greenville shut it down. And we didn't understand that. But what we understood at the time was there were disadvantaged people who were going to be hurt badly by that. And we try to raise our voice to do something. And we weren't listened to. We then took over the clinic and went through and fixed it all up, and a doctor came in, but that didn't last. We need to understand why that happened. Mr. Brown has come to town with great dreams and great plans, and I have a lot of faith in him. And I think the grocery store, it's going to open. It just is. But we have to go to that grocery store. We had a Piggly Wiggly that was a Harris supermarket or whatever, and they abandoned us because essentially they couldn't stay open because folks were going to Greenville. There are a lot more choices in Greenville, but there's a lot more noise. There's a lot more traffic. There's a lot more inconvenience. And I'm not bad-mouthing Greenville, but we come to Bethel because of what it offers us here at small town. So moving forward, understanding what happened yesterday. why did people make the choice to abandon underprivileged people in our town? And if we're going to keep grocery store, we're going to have to go and use the grocery store that's here. And we're going to do that, I think, together, having seen the mistakes that have happened in the past.
Thank you. Same question for you, Miss Barbara Jackson Byam.
My vision, what I see for the future, in my mind, I keep thinking that without faith, it's impossible to please God. And I believe as a town that when we come together, I don't even like saying the North and the South. I look at it as Bethel. And I believe that when we get on one accord, everything is going to fall in place. Yes, I believe we're going to get a grocery store. And as Commissioner White here said, when we get the grocery store, we have to utilize it here. You know, we have to utilize it. We still can't continue to go to Greenville. We have to utilize what's here. Our pharmacy that's here now, we have to utilize it. And when we come together and do it together and have the same mindset, I believe we can have whatever we want in Bethel. If we used to have it, we still can have it now. We got over 11, I think we probably got 10, 11 churches in this town. And we are God-fearing. We said we are God-fearing people. So if we have the faith and we believe, I believe we can have what we said we can have.
Thank you. Okay, and Miss Cassandra Contra?
Conger, yes.
Okay. Same question. What do you see in terms of the growth for Bethel, where the resources will be here, where you would not have to go to Greenville for medical and food?
I think that we have to come together to support one another. Fred Whitehurst said something about the doctor that did come after the original doctors had pulled out, and but people were excited about it, but they didn't go to that doctor. They didn't support that doctor. So like the grocery store, I don't think people realized what we had until it was gone. And so I think we have got to come together as a community, and we have to support one another in every endeavor that each one of us undertakes to try to improve our town. So we have it's not daycare. That's not what I'm trying to, the after school program here. So, and that has been really supported very well by this town. And it's been extremely successful, and it's growing day by day by day over at the bank. And so, I think we can see exponentially that kind of growth if we actually support what is already here and what comes here, instead of, looking at it as, oh, that's an outsider, or, oh, this is something that, we don't really need, or, any kind of those kinds of things. We need to support the opportunities that we do have so that we can bring more opportunities in for our town.
Thank you. Next question.
I'd like to applaud you all for being very mindful of our timer. That really means a lot, and it helps the process to move more smoothly. Since you have the mic last, Ms. Cassandra, we're going to go to you for our next question, which is from the audience. What kinds of ways would you propose to improve the lives of youth and senior citizens? What kinds of ways would you propose to improve the lives of youth and senior citizens?
I think for youth, we need to have things for them to do. Constructive things for them to do. The youth center obviously provides some of that. I'm working with Camille on the Smith Street Park so that we can improve that. I think that will help providing activities at various times, through the town or through churches, and, supporting those activities and encouraging those kinds of activities. We had the Bethel Harvest Festival a few weeks ago the Bethel Harvest Festival a few weeks ago. And so I think if we bring those the activities to our teenagers and to our children. I think that will help a lot. Same thing for senior citizens. And we also have to try to find out what exactly it is our senior citizens need. I think sometimes there's assumptions made about what senior citizens need. And so I would like to see, what those actual needs are, and start looking at how we can come together as a community, not just with the town, but as the community, and come together and meet those needs for those senior citizens. People have mentioned the grocery store. I know people who, for them just to go, do their weekly shopping, they have to make phone calls and try to find a ride. And that really is heartbreaking to me, because their only other alternative is the dollar store or something like that. And while they do have some choices that are healthy, they don't have the healthy choices or even the choices that they would have at the grocery store. So we need to ask what they need and not just make assumptions as well.
Thank you for that. Ms. Barbara Jackson Bynum, would you like me to repeat the question?
I think I have it. My vision for the young people. I foresee, I wish we could have like a recreation center, a place that our kids can go in the afternoon, something that they can go and, play games and play basketball. The young guys, they love to play basketball, some place that they have to go on Saturdays. In the summer, there's nothing here for our kids to do. Even with swimming pool, we can have a swimming pool. It's just so many years we had a swimming pool over on the north side, but it was a conflict with the kids on the south side being able. I don't know if they said that was a private pool or whatever, but I wish we could have a pool that the kids can go to and have something to do, more to do in the evening time when they get out of school, to keep their minds. That would keep them out of trouble. And as far as our senior citizen, we already have a senior citizen. And I went to one of the meetings and that's what I asked. I said, I know it got to be more than 4 or 5 senior citizens here in Bethel. And that's the thing. How do we come together and make the senior citizen that we already have? How do we make it strong? How do we, I know it gotta be some Caucasian people on the north side that are seniors. We want to have a senior citizen with everybody. We want everybody to come. We just don't want the African Americans, but we want the whites too to be. And that's my vision here in Bethel, that we come together as one. We come together as one, whether it's the senior citizen, if we get a grocery store, we just don't want the blacks to be to the grocery store. We want everybody to come to the grocery store. We got diverse people here. We got Mexicans here now. We got the man.
Thank you, Ms. Bynum. I'm going to call time. Mr. Frederick, would you like me to repeat the question?
I know, ma'am. I'm a little old fashioned. When I was a kid, we didn't grow up with a lot, and we made our own way because that's the way our parents taught us. A stick was a baseball bat. Somebody had a ball and somebody had a glove. There was a vacant lot someplace. I think, I don't mean to be a stick in the mud here, but I think that we've taught our children that we have to entertain them. There is stuff to do in Bethel. In fact, there's so much stuff to do in Bethel, frankly, that I exhaust myself doing it. And that's beautifying the town, going around and fixing stuff, whatever. I hear of a division, but I know that my mother and a woman named Ella Little from different side of the town got together and just beat the world up and made a senior citizen center. We had a citizen center here that was in the old police department, and the roof was leaking. It was terrible. I told Mama about it. She got upset. She and a couple of ladies, her friends, joined the senior citizens. And there was a meeting one time. We had a town meeting when those ladies got out and they got Southern Bank to put some money together to build a senior citizen center. And somebody was going to take it over, and Mother and 14 elderly black woman stood up and started telling the town what they thought. So I think, and by the way, the mayor backed down. Had Hemingway back down then. But I think that, I think there's stuff to do here. Frankly, there is. We just taught children the stuff to do is not worthy of doing. And if we were going to have a community center, I'm running out of time, I see it as young people and old people. There's a lot to learn from our senior citizens.
Thank you so much. Ms. Camilla, would you like me to repeat the question? You took my question. What kinds of ways would you propose to improve the lives of youth and senior citizens?
I have to advocate for community gardens because of the situation that we have in the world right now, food shortages. I would love to see our youth being able to be sustainable, growing their own foods, knowing that the food is medicine, and for the elderly also. We have a lot of stories of people. Sometimes our gardens didn't do as well in the last 2 years, but however, we have some stories. If they hadn't got food out of the garden, they would not have had food. So I want to put a plug in for our community gardens to teach our young people the way of growing their own food. Being sustainable is most important because if you let it die, then you die. And for our older people, they can work along with them, teach them how they came up, listen to the stories, how they fed families, how they were sustainable, how they took one chicken and fed 12 people in the family. I mean, working together is key here. And we don't want to divide with the youth and the adults. We want everyone working together. That is a goal I have, to make sure that everybody learns to be sustainable.
Mr. Jones?
Thank you, ma'am. Ways to improve the lives of youth and senior citizens. As far as the youth are concerned, I would say one of the best ways to improve the lives of youth would be to find out perhaps how we, as a board, and this could be outside of what a board of commissioners would do, but if we would find a way to be able to get more parents involved in youth, because what's happening now, and I think it's safe to say, I think for the school system is everywhere else, we're having kids coming up. They don't respect adults. They don't respect the community. They don't respect themselves. So if we could, perhaps, if there's something we could do to try to reach some of these parents and get them to do a better job of working with their young people, get them to help to train a child up in the way that the child should. And then when they're older, they will not depart from it. As far as the senior citizens are concerned, and I don't want to make this about race all the time. Y'all, I don't want to make it about, but this is the reality. Because I remember hearing before that, the reason people were not coming together was because of a location of a building. Then the building moved to what would be considered a central location, but still we had the same issues. So perhaps when we're training those youth to do better, perhaps as they grow older, they will have a different way of thinking about how they need to interact with other people. I think we have to get that done if we expect our senior citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. Trisha, do you need me to repeat the question? Okay.
No, and I can already tell you there's not going to be enough time for my answer to this. To bring things for our youth and our senior centers, we need to bring more awareness. There are programs. We have a new pre-K at the school, at the grade school that was brought. They have an after-school program there and at the youth center. The other thing that we have going on is for these kids, it needs to be safe out there, you guys. These kids have nothing to do. Don't tell me they're going to go out there and work. They need a childhood. They need to be able to play. We need to create that for them. And as for what they need to make that happen, we need to support our families that are overworked and underpaid and working 3 jobs and worried about making rent and their phones being shut off and losing their kids to the state because the schools are on them about their kids' attendance and not getting word for that. That needs to be fixed. And we can't do that, but we can support these people and not say your kid needs to work, that they need to have a childhood, and we can bring that to them. Another thing is our senior citizens, what they need is not in the same meals that our inmates are eating from Meals on, and not Meals on Wheels being cut. I know this because I'm volunteering there and hearing from them. They tell me regularly I am the only one who shows up to hear what they have to say and what they need. And I know what they need. They need better foods. I've talked to the principal at Bethel about bridging that gap between the senior centers and the youth and maybe how we can bring them together and bring that connection. And I've talked to Scott, the town manager, about what we can do when the kids need to be disciplined at the school or whatnot. And maybe we can teach them these vital skills of taking care of themselves by working with the community gardens. I'm aware of these things, and I have talked to important people that are already able to make these changes about continuing them and making them a reality now, because we need them now. Our families are drowning now. Our kids are struggling now and need these supports from the community now, and we can make it happen. We just have to stop bickering. And yes, racism is an issue. It will be an issue until we address it and stop trying to deny it is there. We need to face it and start coming together
Thank you,
instead of giving it
Tricia.
lip service. Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. Mr. Thomas, same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
I just like to say a child's mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know, I remember when I grew up, I stayed outside. I played hard. I remember it get so cold I couldn't even dig up the dirt because it was frozen. The kids today, everything's about electronics. A lot of them don't even know about baseball, softball, football, basketball. They don't want to do it. They just want to get out of school, go home, and get on the electronic game. That ain't right. I've kind of fought the parents when it comes to the kids of today. For one, if you don't teach them, then they're not going to grow. You've got to give them the opportunity to know what's out there and what is available to the young kids and get them involved in the world. Well, not the world, but in the good stuff. Because if you leave them alone, then your kids today, a lot of them will end up being trouble and in the future. They're going to end up in jails and stuff like that. And that ain't what we want. I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, or whatever. Everybody bleeds the same color, and that's red. But we've got to have something for the kids to be able to do. And again, there's a lot of things, like Commissioner Whiter said, there's a lot of things for them to do, but they got to want to get out and do it. As far as the senior citizens, that is the knowledge of the past. They know they know what's gone on here in the past. They know how it was in the day. And you know, if our kids don't step up to the plate today and learn from the senior citizens and do, then, you know, they're just going to go by the wayside. I mean, bottom line is they've got to have training to know what's going on and what they can do.
Thank you so much. We have time for one more question. Ms. Boston Hill will ask the last question before closing.
All right. Thank you very much for everybody staying on point. As a commissioner, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making? And we're going to start with you, Mr. Linley.
For one, as far as accountability, I think everybody needs to be accountable for everything they do, you know, and say. I think that hopefully in the future, far as different things I hope the town, I know we have the transit out of Greenville coming in and help people get where they need to go to the doctor's office and this, that, and the other. Maybe in the future, I'm hoping Bethel will be able to do that. As far as just seeing, you've got to basically look at the big picture. You got to know what you can do, can't do, what's right, what's wrong, and all. And I think the town has really come up in the last 6 years, and they're really looking at the things that we need to do that we haven't done in years. And I really think as a commissioner that that's one of my goals. I want to make sure that everybody sees I'm me. I'm a fire chief. I'm a commissioner. And I'm going to tell you, just like I tell anybody else, there's no two sides of me. I'm one. I try to treat people like I want to be treated. And that's basically what you have to do today. You just have to bring it out, put it out, and show them that you mean business. And, you know, and I think when the commissioners and we get together on the things that this town will be able to do, I think we'll show them then that, you know, what we actually try to do is going to happen.
Thank you. The same question for you, Ms. Tricia Workhart. As a commissioner, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making?
Well, for one, I have always been very clear that I stand 10 toes down on my decisions. I am very willing to talk them through with people. I am very willing to be held accountable. I am willing to learn. I want to do what is right. I don't want to do what is my way. It is important to me that I be able to back my things that I am saying. So I do the research before I come to the things, but also I'm willing to be educated because I don't know everything. And we do need to work as a team to make those things happen. I have no problem speaking up. We had an incident a few months ago at town hall where one of the commissioners spoke up about a racist person in the community saying things online. And I actively asked one of the other commissioners if they were going to hold that person accountable because they had influence over that person. I have no problems calling these things out, and I will have no problems with it being respectfully called out of me if I am doing it, because that is who I am. It is important to me to be accountable. It is important to me to be accessible. On that note, I want people to feel comfortable coming to me with their issues. That means I need to be a safe person for them to come to. I can't blow up and say, no, that's not happening. What do you mean? How dare you tell me? Because they're no longer going to want to come tell me. I've already shown I'm not really going to listen to them. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to hear and I'm going to thank them for feeling like I was someone they could tell me their problems to. And I'm going to tell them what I can and what I can't do and who I can and can't help them reach out to, because that is important to me, that people feel like they have resources to leave with. Empowerment is how we make changes. When people feel empowered, they want to go out and make differences themselves. They feel part of more than just themselves. They feel less alone when they feel empowered. And I want to help with that. And part of the way I help with that is by always taking accountability for my actions and holding others that same expectation.
Thank you. Mr. Elvis Jones, same question. As a commissioner, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, and accountability in your decision-making?
Well, first of all, let me say, I like my neighbor to my right here. I like all of y'all as well. You know, as far as the transparency part, first of all, I would say I don't want to be seen as a politician, because to me, that's sometimes that's a dirty word. But transparency is to be available to people, and when people come to you, to try to give them honest answers as best as you know them. And if they come to you and they're asking about something that you don't know, being willing to go out and do the research. You mentioned that education piece. I think is so important, to go out and do the research so that you can give people the answers that they really need. Accountability part, again, being honest with people and being able to answer their questions honestly about what's going on. If you don't know the answer, say, I don't know, but I can check into it and I will try to get back to you. The accessibility part is well, that's one reason I kind of moved away from the town board before, because I was no longer accessible to the community. But now that I'm back in the community, I will not have a problem with people having access to my telephone number. If they want to pull up in the yard, use the telephone number first and call me. But, you know, we want to be able to try to answer people's questions and meet them where they are. Make sure we get those kinds of things.
Thank you. And for you, Ms. Camilla Griggs, as a commissioner, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making?
That's big because I really am an honest person. I have integrity. I'm a person that's accountable for what I say. My word is my bond, and if I can't do it, I'm going to let you know I can't do it. If there's an issue, we need to be able to sit down as men in business, and we need to be able to talk about whatever. We're going to have issues, but we should be able to agree to disagree. So that's all I have to say about it.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Frederick Whitehurst, we're going to ask you the same question. As commissioner, and you're encumbered, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making?
I think the example I would follow, ma'am, is set by our town hall and our mayor sitting right there. Period. Anybody that has a question, has a complaint. We have some growlers every once in a while, and I'm one of them, if you know what a growler is. And I've growled at the mayor, and he's growled back at me. But we have conversations. That building over there is open. It's open to any citizen that wants to go in there. We have folks that get on the internet and they make a big noise, and you can say to them, go on downtown and talk to the man. Just go on down and talk to him. He talks to you, really talk. You'll get in his car and go over and look at the water in your yard or the trash on the side of the road or whatever. And that's what we strive to do. My law firm is about a block from here. Anybody can come in there and sit down. I don't charge for oh my goodness, a consultation or whatever. People in this town just come right on in. We go out and pick some vegetables. We talk about issues in the town. And that's accessibility. That is my accountability. Everybody in this room knows what I think something, I say it. I'm just like my mama was. And I may be wrong about it. I've growled sometimes when I shouldn't have growled. But I think, got to say what's on your mind so that people know what's on your mind, so that they come and give you a suggestion as another direction or whatever. And I will be held accountable by the people that I represent.
Thank you. Okay, so Miss Barbara Jackson Byam, as a commissioner, and you're encumbered, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making?
Well, transparency, as being a commissioner, people do tend to ask you a lot of questions and everything, And what I tell people, come to the meeting. We have meetings every first Tuesday night in the month at 6 o'clock. And that's my desire. I said, come and voice your opinion. Whatever if you have concerns, just come to the meeting. You don't understand, just your face being there, that makes a difference. That's why the last 4 years that I have been, that's what I tell the people. Come to the meeting and you will see what's going on. You will know what's going on in your town. And I'm sorry.
Accountability.
The accountability.
Okay, your accessibility, accountability, and in your decision-making as a commissioner.
And this is why I say, as a decision making, I don't want to make decision. I want the time. I don't want to make decision on my own. We as a board, we do them together. And then if it's a question or something that it can involve the town, the citizens of this town, because it involves all of us. So, I love to see the community, that they help make the decisions too. And that the board, we come together. As you say, we're not going to agree on everything, but we come together and talk about it. And I'm one, I don't take down, and I'm not afraid to speak. I'm not going to go along with something that I know if it don't agree with me. And if I know it's wrong, I'm not going to go along with it. I'll stand if I have to stand all by myself. And that's just me. I'm not going to go along with what I don't feel is not right.
Thank you. All right, so we have Miss Cassandra Contra. Okay, the same question. As a commissioner, how will you ensure transparency, accessibility, accountability in your decision-making?
I think the first thing that I want people to know is that I'm a listener. So if you have something that, you know, you want to bring to me and you want to talk about, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to take that into account. I don't have a problem with sitting down and working with people and listening to people to make sure that, you know, we all and meet the same goals and those kinds of things. I want to be accessible to people. So I want to be accountable as well. I'm perfectly willing to admit, God knows I am not perfect and I make mistakes. And I'm the first person to admit that. I try to learn from my mistakes. I try to make decisions that mean I won't make the same mistake multiple times. And I think the fact that I really try hard to do those two things, people know that I'm accountable for the things that I do or don't do on occasions, and I'm willing to step up and take responsibility for those things.
Thank you. Okay, so in closing, we just want to make an announcement here, and then everybody will have 1 minute to do a closing statement.
It is important that we note that candidates Tina Staten, Dolores Pittman, and LaTanya Williams had been confirmed to participate, but are not present. So it is important that we state that for the record. Also, as we transition into our closing statements, Pitt County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams was kind enough to bring us information about a survey, very important survey regarding the strategic plan. And so if you have not participated with the county's strategic plan survey, please pick one up or talk to Ms. Mary Perkins Williams on your way out so that we can make sure that the voices of Bethel are included in the strategic plan. Okay, Ms. Conjure, we will start with you. You have 1 minute to close.
I guess I want to close by saying that I love the town of Bethel. So I think Bethel is a great place to live. I think Bethel is moving in a direction that will make it even greater. But I think that, there are decisions, sometimes hard decisions, sometimes easy decisions that will need to be made in the future about that movement. And I think I'm one of those people who can do that. I think that because I want what's best for the town and because I am here for not going anywhere. So I want to be a part of that growth and a part of moving forward for the town of Bethel.
Thank you so much. Ms. Barbara Jackson Bynum, 1 minute to close, please.
I would like to say that I do have a vision for this town, and this is my second term. And I know my first term, like you said, we don't always do everything right, and there may be some things that I didn't do right in my first term, and maybe some things I didn't say right or whatever. But I still believe that we can have all the things that we want to have in Bethel, and I just want to run again because I still things that I started in the first election, first 4 years, and we want to continue and see those things go forth.
Thank you so much. Mr. Frederick Whitehurst, you have 1 minute to close.
In this time of acrimony and anxiety and folks saying bad things about folks, y'all ought to come to Bethel. We disagree with each other, but this is a pleasant place. We'll argue with each other. The mayor and I have got real close to arguing, haven't we, Mr. Mayor? Once while I holler, he never holler. He just sits back there and waits for me to go too far so he can call the police. But we're not like that. We're not like that. We are succeeding admirably. Y'all living in Greenville, I'd invite you to come on over here because it is a small town. We're going to disagree, but it's a small town that has succeeded where we are not succeeding as a nation. So if you get tired of the rest of the world, come on over.
Thanks so much, Mr. Whitehurst. Ms. Camilla Griggs, you have 1 minute to close.
Okay, I want to close by saying when I am elected, I will bring some new highlights to this board, and I'm going to put my best foot forward to make it happen, not for just one people, but for all people. And I just like to say I've enjoyed this forum on tonight. I've got a lot out of it, just hearing stuff that I didn't come up with. But I just like to say that I'm a winner and everyone around me will win.
Thank you, Ms. Griggs. Mr. Elvis Jones, you have 1 minute to close.
Yes, first I would certainly like to thank, is it GPAC 23 and the whole awesome radio crowd for doing this forum. But I would say that as we sit here tonight, we should realize as a community that we the community needs to make sure we do a better job of getting information out to people. I would like to say to my fellow panelists, you got 5 votes. I would appreciate one of them. And I would like to say, I've served on the board in the past. I certainly would not deny that I think the board has done a marvelous job in trying to make things better. I do realize that there are lots of other things that can happen, but it takes us all working together to get those things. That's what I would think.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Trisha Workow.
Thank you so much. So when I'm elected into office, I have already proven that I demand accountability. I have a proven track record of working with the school district and expecting changes from them when students have faced discrimination and not backing down when things have come up and they've wanted it to just stop happening. I expect accountability. I expect changes. I expect equitability, and I have no problems calling out discrimination when I see it. I have easily probably shown that I'm different and I'm not like anyone here. I'm the newest resident to the town. I stick out a little bit, but with the examples I've shared tonight, I'd like to show that even with being different gets results for the residents in Bethel. And I believe that my different can bring changes for every resident that lives here, and maybe different is what is needed for the next few years with what we are walking into as a nation and as a community.
Thank you, Ms. Trisha. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Thomas Lilly, you have 1 minute to close.
I would just like to say I thank the citizens of Bethel for extending me to be able to be on the board for 2 terms. First time was 2 years. This last time was 4. I am about safety. If you would elect me again, I would try to make sure that the town is safe at all aspects, as far as law enforcement, fire department. I know we don't have an EMS at this time. They moved out a few years ago out by North Pitt. I would like to see one come back. Whether or not I'll be able to do that, I don't know, but we're going to try. But again, my first priority is safety of the town. And I want to thank y'all for putting this on and getting us all together. Hope there were some good comments made and some good questions. We really were. And again, if the town wouldn't have me, I'd love to come back and try it for 1 more year. I think either in state or president or whatever, I think 10 years is long enough. I think 10 years, everybody needs to be replaced. But anyway, thank you.
Well, I would like to congratulate you all on staying within your time and being cordial to one another. As we transition our panel from your candidates for the board to our mayor, I would ask that you give him the same respect that he gave you, and that is to stay and to hear what he has to say. Thank you, Mr. Carl, for your patience, and we look forward to hearing from you as soon as this we transition for you.
No grunting.
I need you to help me up. Thank you, thank you.
That's the one I. Give it a minute. Yes, ma'am. No, it's my. Yes.
Yesterday, and they said they were coming. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Give us the benefit of the doubt. please.
Oh, yeah. Anybody else?
I love you three. I put the
Right.
When they come.
Testing 1, 2. That's it. That's it. Hey, what the judge said? All right. That's right. Be seated. Sure. Hmm.
Is it these? Are they these?
The time is now 8:15. We will allot 15 minutes for our incumbent, Mayor Carl Wilson. Mayor Wilson, please start by introducing yourself and talking a little bit about some of the things that you've already done and what you would plan to do in your second term.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Wilson. I'm the mayor of Bethel. I'm a native of Bethel, North Carolina. I'm a retired U.S. Army Master Sergeant. I retired in June of 2002. And I've been on this board. I was elected on this board as a commissioner in 2005. And in January 3rd of 2023, I was appointed as mayor of Bethel. And since I've been mayor of Bethel, I've looked back and looked over the years of some of the things, the areas that we need to take care of. And our start for one is the public works building. We have hired we had 2 full-time public works personnel. We have 1 part-time supervisor of the public works, and we hadn't had public works in years, so we opened that back up. We have had our roads paid that have not been paid in years. Right now, we have Rivers and Associates that are doing a storm water drainage study for us because of the flooding that we've been having here in Bethel on our streets and in the people's yards, and we're looking to take care of that. Also, we've had the gutters and the storm drains are being cleaned out in the last couple of months here, because a lot of those are things that have not been done in years. And so basically as mayor, what I've been concentrating on is the things that have not been done in years that's causing aggravation to the citizen as well as to the town. If I'm elected as mayor, one of my main goals is this, and I said it when I became a commissioner. I want to be a transparent mayor. In other words, I want to be out in the community. I want to be among the community. I want to listen to what the community has to say, get the ideas from the community. Because one thing I'm a firm believer of, anything that does not grow will eventually die. And we want this town to continue to grow. The other thing is with the board of commissioners that whichever ones are being elected, I would love to see we have a unified board of commissioners that can work together and be mission minded and have one goal in mind, and that's the welfare of the citizen and the safety of the citizen. And as we work together, we can accomplish anything. And most of all, it's not what I'm gonna do as mayor, but what we're gonna do as a community together. That's how we get things done. By working together as a community. It does not matter what your nationality is. If you're in the Bethel community, we need to work together. And by pulling together, we need to be mission-minded, and we can make things happen. Bethel is a great place to live, and not only that, but we're in a centralized location. We are not that far from the airport. We're not that far from the port. We got the railway that comes through. And since I've been mayor, we've renovated our library. We got one of the best libraries around. We worked on renovating the senior citizen building. We shut down the police department, in which that was a task by itself. because for the number one thing was to educate and get the citizens to buy into why we shut down the police department. And right now, my number one goal is, as far as Bethel, is the safety of the citizen. And now our police department has been renovated. It's now becoming a mental health center. It hasn't opened up yet, but we're still putting in the equipment and everything. And the other thing is, if I can get the citizens to go out to the schools, Bethel Middle School, North Pitt High School, we need the parents to come out to the school. I know people always say there's nothing in Bethel to do, nothing in Bethel to do. But if they will go out to the schools and see the programs that are established, that's being established, that's already in place, they'll find that there is a lot to do for the kids in Bethel. The schools need the supports of the parents. And I invite all the citizens that live out in the rural areas to attend our town hall meetings, because anything that affects the citizen in the community of Bethel affects the citizens in the rural area. And the main thing is to continue to get the citizens and this community to be unified, to work together, because that's how we get things done, by working together. And we're only as strong as the weakest link of our community. And so what we have to do is continue to support one another. When the events that are going on, we don't have a Chamber of Commerce here, but when we have the Harvest Festival, the Christmas Parade, it takes the community to come together to put these things on. And I invite anybody that wants to come to the town hall. I'm willing to sit down and listen to them, because that's how we find out. The community is the eyes and ears of the town hall. That's how we find out things. And when you come in, I always say they come in sometimes, like Commissioner Whitehead said, they be growling, they upset and everything. But once they finish, I just ask them calmly, now, how can we fix this? Because we may not, the town hall or the board may not always have the best ideas, but when you're working with the community have the ideas. They find ways to get things fixed, and they have the knowledge of getting it fixed. But we have to work together. And the main thing is that when you have a community that works together, it means that there's better homes, there's better churches, that the families are even better. And we have a great youth center here that Dr. Gary Moore has done a wonderful job in our youth center. We have the United Providers of Help that has opened up the hardware store and the pharmacy. They have revitalized that, and that's working well, because our hardware store, we didn't have UPS. Now we have UPS there. You can drop packages off, pick up packages there. And we're looking forward to having the grocery store to open soon, maybe in January. And also we're looking to have the coffee shop that's opened up. Miss Reese at the library is putting out some great programs for the kids at all ages and stuff. And I invite anybody to come out and visit our library. We have a great interim manager, Scott Elliott, has worked well with the town. And since I've been mayor, yes, there have been some challenges, because when I took over as mayor, there were some issues, some problems, and we still got some. But we've been able to tackle them and overcome them one at a time. And it takes a board of commissioners working together to be able to do this. And if we continue to work together, we can be successful. As a matter of fact, we are successful. Bethel is on the rise. Believe it or not, Bethel is on the rise. There's a lot of great things are happening here in Bethel. And as far as the community, we unify the community. We don't need a separate community on the south side of the track or the north side of the track. We need to be unified as one, as a community. And that's how we continue to move forward. That's how we continue to have progress going. Because believe it or not, we got the mega site that's going to come 5, maybe 10 years from now. A lot of people don't want it, but it's going to happen. And while we're waiting for it to happen, we need to be making preparation for homes. We need better homes. We need to we got homes that are being built right now in Bethel, but there's still a lot of things that Bethel needs. And if we work together, it'll continue to come. Progress is already being made. And we just got to take one day at a time and be patient and keep praying, and we're going to keep moving forward.
Thank you for that. You mentioned the mega center, so I just want to piggyback on that just a little bit. Bethel has a small town charm, but it faces challenges of economic growth. How would you attract new businesses while preserving the town's character and affordability?
The way we attract new businesses is, one, we have a lot of storefront buildings that need to be repaired. And the way we can do that is by holding the owners accountable to whether if the building is occupied or unoccupied, that they need to maintain the buildings, because that's is the face of the town right there, your downtown areas. At the same time, people don't mind coming to going to work in Greenville or Winterville in the hustle and bustle, but when they can come to Bethel to a quiet place to relax and get ready for the next day's work, that's the things that need to take place right here. And we can advertise. We have a magazine that we advertise Bethel to let them know that, hey, Bethel, you looking for a great place to live? Bethel is it.
All right, thank you. Just a quick question. I know that you mentioned that new housing was being built. What is the affordability of the housing for all people to be able to maybe upgrade or to move from where they're living or to renovate? Is there a renovation project ongoing in Bethel to repair some of the old housing?
Well, there is not really a renovation project just going on to repair the old houses. What we do have is we have a gentleman by the name of Ben Jones that has applied for a $950,000 grant that will approximately do 4 new homes or maybe 5 new houses. And that's just for Bethel alone.
What do you see as the biggest challenge facing Bethel right now? And what specific actions would you take to address them?
I'll still say the biggest challenge facing Bethel right now is having the community to come together. That's the biggest challenge right there. You know, you can't have one pulling to the left and one pulling to the right. They got to pull together. And it doesn't matter what the nationality of the people are. And the biggest things that we need to work hard on is get our people to come out. When I say our people, the citizens of Bethel, to come to the town hall meetings and make them aware of what's going on in the surrounding area. Not only just learning about what's happening in Bethel, but what's actually happening in Pitt County. Because we don't want people just to know about Pitt County, but we really want them to know about Bethel.
And my final question for you is that I know that you have a lot of young people because people have babies here and then the children grow up and then they go off and maybe to college or to the service. What makes a child want to come back after they've seen the world to Bethel?
Well, I'll use my own children for example. I always tell them, don't just be a taker from your community, but be a giver to your community. No matter what community you're in, don't just take from them, but give back to the community. And what we have to do is instill in our children that are going off to college, that are leaving when they graduate in high school, getting jobs, to give back to your community. In other words, think about what can you do to help improve your community. And once you do that, and if you start them at a young age, thinking about how can I improve my community? How can I help in my community? And it'll stick with them and they'll be willing to give back to the community.
And in the remaining time that you have, are there any closing words that you would like to leave us with in reference to the time that you've been in the seat and what you look forward to?
Yes. Since I've been mayor, it has been some challenges, but we have withstand the storm. And when I first took over, my first meeting in January, the second meeting I had, the clerk left and the manager left. The next month, the chief of police left. So all I did was refer back to some of the things we had talked about over the years and put that stuff into motion. And when I say put it into motion, we had looked at maybe when we had a full staff at the police department, we was looking at closing it down someday, having the sheriff office to do our patrolling force. So I just went back and thought about that. And we talked with Sheriff Paula Dance and they started patrolling force and it's working out good. As for our senior citizen, right now we're working on having Belvoir, Stokes, and Pactos to come together to let those citizens know that they can join the Bethel Senior Citizen. And we're trying to improve that. And right now, the senior citizen, what they really could use is a van or some type of transportation so that they can take trips and visit other places, go to other senior citizens to see seniors to see how they're operating and stuff. And as far as myself, I look forward to working with whichever the commissioners are that are being voted into these seats. And I just say to the community that I pray and hope that you will continue to vote me in as elected as your mayor. It's been some challenging, but I'm here to withstand the storm, and I look forward to the challenge. And we're going to continue to go forward. We made progress, and yet there's a lot more progress that need to be done. And by working together, we're going to get this accomplished. And once again, Bethel, it will be, and in which it is now, a great place to live. And we're still looking forward to making Bethel a bedroom community, a place where you can go out and work in the hustle and bustle and come back and relax in the evening. And I look forward to unifying and having a strong board that can be on one accord, that we may not always agree on everything, but it's never about the board of commissioners. It's about the community and its citizens, their safety, their welfare, and the health of this community. And I just enjoyed all the comments that the board has made tonight. And I'd like to thank GPAC 23 and Awesome Radio for hosting this forum for us. And it's been a great pleasure to sit here before you and reach out to the community. And I just say to the community, if you're listening in or looking in, please come out and vote. And not only that, but go to your town hall meetings. And that's important. We have our town hall meeting first Tuesday of every month, starting at 6:00. Come out and voice your opinion. Come see your mayor. Come see your manager. And a lot of these things can be done. We can resolve a lot of the issues and circumstances and that the people concerns that they have if they would just sit down with the mayor and the manager, and we can start rectifying these things. And I know we're not going to please everybody, but we're going to do our very best to accomplish the goal and the mission that it was what's best for this town and its citizens.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all of the participants. We really appreciate your presence today and for opening yourselves up to be able to make sure that constituents hear your thoughts and what your ideas are going forward. Thank you.
All right.